Good morning, everyone. It's Matt here from Christopher Shaw. You may tell that I'm alone today. I don't have James Tiller with me as usual, and that is for a very good reason, is that he's had a little baby girl last weekend, so he's on 2 weeks paternity. So, James, if you are watching, congratulations, and
Congratulations.
I'm very much looking forward to getting you back in about a week and a half's time, but enjoy the time with your little one. And I am, of course, back with Carly Jermyn from Woodstock Property Law.
Hello.
Hiya, Carly. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, good, thank you. Good.
Good. We've had a little natter already before coming on camera this morning and put the world to rights. But this is obviously a catch-up from our previous video,
Yes.
which was obviously about Section 21 changes, Section 8 notices, and the continuing changing sands that we find ourselves on with the government. Obviously, it was confirmed. I believe the 29th of August, the new legislation came in. Carly, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, 29th.
Yeah, they dropped it in on the bank holiday.
Yeah, snuck it in there and then down tools for the weekend. Obviously saying that there is an extended notice period now for no fault evictions, Section 21s, to 6 months, which is a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. And, I guess that's going to, cause a lot of fear for landlords. It's not all bad. I mean, the concern was that there would be some retrospective change, but on the positive, all notices served before that are the 3-month notices and you can rely on those.
Yeah.
But yes, for going forward for Section 21, unfortunately, and it's looking to be in place until March next year, is 6 months notice.
Yeah. Equally,
there are some...
Sorry, I was just going to say, on the flip side of that, nothing has changed from the tenant side in terms of notice. So it's a bit one-sided.
It is, yes, very much so.
Yeah, so tenants still only need to give 1 month.
Yeah, very much so.
If they are on a rolling contract.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, from my understanding is that rental demand is quite high, so it shouldn't cause landlords a problem. But it does feel like it's unfairly weighted again, as normal. It's been the way it's been going for many, many years. So I suspect, unfortunately, that's where the tide is going.
Yeah.
But on a positive, yes, concerning also that you may, in some circumstances, still need to serve 6 months notice for Section 8 notice.
Yeah.
But there are some circumstances when it is less, because we were concerned it would be across the board, but there was some pressure there and they have made some concessions, shall we call them. So there are some circumstances when you can serve less than 6 months on a Section 8 notice.
Yes, yeah. Should we run through those quickly?
Yeah, let's run through those.
There is some limited ones there, but they are, like I said, there's been some wins there in that they've revised those.
Yeah, I mean, if you go from the starting point that is 6 months notice, unless of course there are more than 6 months rent arrears.
Yeah.
Then you can shorten that to 4 weeks. And then the other one is where you have ground 14, which is the nuisance and annoyance, or a conviction.
Yeah.
So it's a case of assessing when you're thinking about serving notices, what notice you can serve and making sure you serve the shortest possible notice you can serve. And you may get some instances where people serve a 6 month Section 8 notice, and then the rent arrears get to 6 months, and they may be able to shorten that period down to by serving a 4-week notice, which they could do on a without prejudice basis. So you've got to just be alive to, what the rules are, what the timescales are, what your current situation is, and just, keep on top of it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we discussed this before the video call, that we're very fortunate, and touching as much wood here as I can, that we don't currently have any of those kind of serious rent arrears or serious behavioural issues on any of our tenancies. Section 21s, I would say as a whole, are fairly innocent reasons why we applied for them. That's where there's going to be a delay. But if there is obviously more serious reasons, then the landlords aren't completely stuck. But they have to fall within those very specific areas.
Yes, they do. Yeah. And if you're looking at ground 14, then what you don't want people to do is think, I can, conjure up a ground 14, I can skip the queue here, because you'll need to provide good evidence. I mean, it would have to be persistent annoyance, but, not just the odd loud party or something like that. It would have to be a real issue for other people, say in a block of flats, or the police have been involved. And if you are, like you say, you don't have the need for them very often, but if you do, then I would make contact with the police and see if they'll support the case, local landlord liaison team with the local authority, and see, if you can get some support there. And like I say, it would have to be for the more persistent and extreme cases, not just the odd thing now and again.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the phrase that I liked, which you provided, was working with tenants but protecting your position. That seems to
Yes.
be the common.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think landlords need to look at the first available opportunity when they do need to serve a notice, but do it in the right way and keep the lines of communication open to tenants. I mean, be honest with them, say, look, the legislation is such that I'm doing this just to protect my position. You know, my aim would be to keep you in the property, you to be paying rent, and everybody to be happy. That surely is everybody's aim. But yeah, landlords do need to protect their position and serve notice, you know, in my view, as soon as they possibly can, but deal with it in the right way.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of tenants. The reason, probably one of many reasons why we're really busy at the minute, other than the cork was pulled out and there's a massive kind of slingshot of demand, is landlords are selling their properties. We're getting that more and more with tenants coming through, and that is creating a demand. So I think this is probably a government break, so that basically there's not a lot of people looking for property over winter and over the Christmas period.
Yeah, very much so.
So I think, you know, there are reasons which I would support. You know, we don't want to have a real housing crisis over the winter, and that might lead into lockdowns and pandemics. So I totally agree with that. But I think the big thing that's going to come from this, like we said, is working with your tenant. So tenants don't want to be arrears. Yeah,
work with them and then try and avoid proceedings if you possibly can. If there's a solution other than going to court, then, you know, try and engage in it. We're doing huge amounts on, you know, rent holiday periods, rent reductions, that sort of thing, early surrenders, if they've got somewhere else to go, student properties, for example, if they want to, you know, terminate, or people that are living somewhere purely for work and they're going to go back to parents or something like that, then, you know, and if you can re-let it, then, you know, why not? So it works for everybody. There is going to be a huge oh, there goes my BBC News alert. It keeps going off at the moment. It's scary every time it happens. Sorry.
I won't listen. It'll be bad.
It used to be enjoyable things. Now every time it's panic and you look at it. But don't worry, it doesn't say anything about changes to notice periods.
No.
Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, the courts are going to be extremely busy. So, you know, if you can avoid going to court, then you should be doing it. What they're saying is, what we're hearing is that they are trying to do some training so there are more judges to deal with the cases, and what they will prioritise is those landlords with 12 months arrears, domestic violence cases, and also the ground 14 cases. So there will be, we think and we hope, some sort of prioritising of pre-COVID cases, but the courts are going to be very busy. So like you say, if you can explore other options, then by all means do. But yeah. And
plan ahead. You know, I suspect there will be you know, what we call accidental landlords that don't have big portfolios, that may need to for personal reasons move back into a property, and they're just not going to have that ability without either mutual agreement or basically planning 6 months in ahead. Now you're back.
I'm back, sorry.
That's all right, I can cut that out.
Okay, it must be my
It's just a freeze on the old internet. We can cut that out, that's fine. So yeah, you know, I think we've covered the obvious point. Again, a lot of the information that we had was in our previous email on YouTube. You can go back and watch that. But I think, like you said, it's just plan way ahead now as much as you can. And I think most landlords and tenants, as you say, will just be, you know, really glad to keep everything as it is and have rent coming in through the winter. And the tenants obviously want a guarantee of home. But it's it is very much plan ahead. And you know, we'll be serving, I'm sure, a lot of 6 month notices, like you said, to just protect people's position. And they can always be withdrawn later. Obviously, Section 21. With
the right communication, just to say to people that obviously we do not want to evict, but this is just protecting our position in case we need to. And obviously our priority is to keep you in the property and for you to be paying rent and be a happy tenant, happy landlord. You know, that's what everybody wants, isn't it?
Easy life is what most want. So brilliant. Well, look, thank you for dropping in again. I think what we'll do, as we did before, is maybe pop some links to the government kind of resources below, your contact details and email. So if anyone has any follow-up questions, I know you're extremely busy, but obviously if they're serious, otherwise they can come through to us.
Yeah, don't worry, that we've got.
Yeah, go on, Carly.
Yeah, that's fine. We've had a couple come through. So yeah, I'm sorry about my Wi-Fi, so I'll have to catch you later.
No worries, that's fine. I will round up, and thank you again for joining us, and we'll get this up on social soon. Thanks, Carly.
Yeah, no problem.
You take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.